I'm John DeVore. Welcome to the DeVore Fidelity YouTube channel. Today's record review is going to be two records that are related, and I'll explain how as I go into it a little bit. The first one is the one that inspired this video, and that is because I found out that it was reissued on vinyl this year. This is a record that came out in 1999 and was not originally pressed on vinyl. It was a CD box set only. And then it was released on vinyl in a very limited run that I missed. But then this year it was just put out again on vinyl, and it's a beautiful box set of 6 10-inch records. The album is the Magnetic Fields 69 Love Songs. This is a pretty amazing record. So when this record came out in 1999, there were a few songs on here that got some good radio play. The most famous is probably the one, My Father Was a Rodeo. My father was a rodeo, my mother was a rock and roll band. And I think that one actually has been covered a couple of times. But so this is literally 69 love songs. The Magnetic Fields is, I guess people call it chamber pop. It's a small group and it includes a cellist, so I guess that's chambery. The story behind this record, as I know it, is the creative force behind the band, Stephen Merritt, was sitting in a piano bar and he decided to give himself the challenge of writing 100 love songs. Then maybe I think he thought about it a little bit and decided that 100 was too ambitious and made it 69 love songs, which is still an enormous number of love songs. And he says that nearly all of these songs were written in various bars. And the end result is not an homage to love. It is absolutely an homage to love songs. All of these songs, remarkably, are different from one another. They talk about love in very different ways. They reference different styles of love songs. So there's different genres in here, including some kind of a hilarious spoofs on free jazz from somebody who clearly is not a fan. But there's a lot of love for the love song in this record, and it is really kind of amazing. It's 3 volumes, and each volume is a double 10-inch album. So it's 6 10-inch records on here, and amazingly, you can sit down and play this from side 1A all the way to side 6B and not be bored. You know, some of the songs are more successful than others, and because he's touching on so many different genres, some of them are going to strike a chord with you, and some of them are probably going to annoy you. But mercifully, they're all quite short, and it's an amazing journey. The arrangements vary. A lot of them are straight up magnetic fields, so it's going to be bowed cello and some really simple drums. Stephen's voice, he's a sort of a wobbly baritone, borderline bass. He's got a really distinctive voice that definitely harkens to the 90s. There were some other bands that kind of did that, Soul Coughing or Morphine. But these have a bit more of a lighthearted feel to them. Anyway, it's really kind of an amazing feat, a very impressive record. And honestly, when you find it on vinyl, it's a beautiful package, really nicely done. But the album that it reminded me of is not really similar in any way except one. Nevertheless, I'm gonna crash these two records together because they reminded me of one another. So this is 69 beautiful bite-sized songs in a nice package. The album that it reminded me of is similar in that it is 45 beautiful bite-sized songs on a double album. And the album is one of the greatest albums of all time, Minutemen, Double Nickels on the Dime. This is an incredible album from 1984 that I originally made on cassette. So it's 45 songs, tiny 1-minute-ish songs. I meticulously filled out the J card on this with every single song on there. So it's an incredibly dense little cassette package. And I wore this tape out. I love this album. The album cover, first of all, So it's double nickel. So this is Watt. This is one of the band members driving his rickety ass Volkswagen Beetle at 55 on the I-10 in LA. Double nickels on the dime. They say that this was a response to Sammy Hagar's really annoying I Can't Drive 55 whine fest. And the Minutemen said, instead of devoting all of your creative force to whining about a speed limit, they decided they're going to drive at 55 and actually write awesome music, which they did. This record is awesome. It's 45 songs musically that have absolutely nothing to do with the magnetic fields. These guys were part of the late 70s, early 80s LA punk scene with Black Flag, and they were on Black Flag's legendary label SST Records. But in contrast to Black Flag and a lot of that music, these guys, while they are clearly playing punk, and a lot of the songs are fast, what they brought to the punk sensibility is a loose, kind of jammy vibe to it that kind of put up a middle finger to the middle finger that punk was putting up to rock. So there's a lot more of that sort of 70s rock in here, even though it's in the context of punk music. Lyrically, it's not as angry as Black Flag, and the tonality of it all definitely is more laid back. Some of these songs are actually beautiful, and it's a testament to what ended up being a really terrible tragedy, because a year after this record came out, D. Boone, who was one of the main creative forces in the band, died in a horrible car accident and joined the 27 Club. If you don't know the Minutemen record, this is a very important record, and you should at least listen to it, if not buy it immediately. The 69 Love Songs is also, I guess it's kind of a classic. I don't know, but it is fantastic. It's an amazing achievement. Both of these sort of are. Both are highly recommended, and I guess you could consider both of these to be a really good value, because you're getting so many songs in one record with each of these things. Together, these are more than 100 songs, and every single one of these is a tasty, delicious, and fantastic song that you'll be able to listen to many times. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.